Got a nice quiet motor.
Very good motor. Nice and clean out the back too. Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. It was the night before Christmas and all through the shop sat three lovely Nortons. I don't know what else to make it rhyme, but anyway, we are at Baxter Cycles in the mighty mini-tropolis of Marnie, Iowa. It is the night before Christmas, day before Christmas. Check this out. So these are all Norton Commandos, 750, 750, 750, and there's little bits of difference between them all. Like this one's got the smaller fiberglass tank on it. Of course, I've taken it apart. We saw this one. I picked this one up in Webster City here a while back. Check it out. You can see the carbs back there. Just gorgeous. This one over here is a fastback model. We're going to get this one running hopefully later. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? I love these fastback tails. Got the silver panels on the side. And this one over here says Roadster. I'm not sure what makes a Roadster a Roadster. The tanks are different, that's for sure. Look at this tank and the seat compared to this tank. So we got three different 750s here. I think this one's a 750. Yeah, it is. And, you know, three different tank styles. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Just a really neat thing. Also the pipes, I want to point that out. Something about these pipes. So okay, it's a Norton Commando 750. It's an air-cooled parallel twin. I think these put out between 50 and 60 horsepower. Dual carbureted. 750 motor's been leaned forward compared to the Atlas. You put a little bend in the manifold here. Dual carburetors. Overhead valves. Cams down on the bottoms. So the cams are down here somewhere. I don't know if there's one back here. There is no push rod in the back. The push rods are internal actually. Okay, I get it. Probably the same thing on that side then too. I've never really seen one of these taken apart. External oil lines. This one still has points. Some of these bikes have electronic ignitions. Separate 4-speed transmissions. On these it's 1 up and 3 down. Unless you're driving the John Player model, which was 1 down and 3 up because of the back, your feet were back here somewhere. Oil tank right here. Isn't that just neat? We picked this up. Look at this brake on the front. Dual leading shoe brake. They're getting this one running. Here's another one, the same kind of a thing, you know. Beautiful. Look at that. Vented little fin cover right there. Little gear indicator right there. Again, the dual leading shoe front brake with the intake. These intakes are usually covered. If you race them, you take the covers off. They keep them covered because you don't want them to get moisture in them. But anyway, back to the exhaust. So, 3 different bikes. These probably have 3 different exhaust pipes. Like this one, if you look at it, they're all the same shape, roughly. But if you look at this one, there's a weld here. This cone is welded onto this. Look at how that tapers in. If you look at this one, you got the same kind of a taper. But you got this exaggerated bend here, like this was made and spun up and then, you know, narrowed down. Now if you look at this one, it's the same thing again. But it's not quite as exaggerated. It's a little less of a taper, you know. Very different way to build. Let's look at the other end of it. This end of it is different as well. See how much room is right here compared to how much room is over here on this one. Let's see what this one looks like. Again, a different thing altogether. So the pipes are different. I like the way they look here. You loosen these to get the seats off. The back ends, check out the back ends on this one versus like this. That kind of, they all kind of got the same taillight, don't they? This black fender. I love the way this looks. They only did this 1 or 2 years, maybe more, but beautiful bike, beautiful bike. This one's a 71 fastback. Just a gorgeous thing. If you're interested in something like this, get a hold of Baxter Cycle. Aluminum housings for the gauges. These are probably, yeah, these are Smith gauges. I'm going to say it again. There's a guy up the road here. He can rebuild these Smith gauges, redo the innards, recalibrate them. New glass, new faces. He can do it all. Chrome bucket on the headlight. Jumping up here, are these all the same? Yeah, pretty much, a little different. Look at those bars. choke on this side. Different controls. How about this one? This one's a 71, so it's got these controls already. Kind of walking you guys around in circles. Now over here, we've got a Vincent. This one's going out the door here pretty quick. This runs and everything. We didn't get a chance to ride this because it sold before we got on the bike. So, you know, that's how life works. I would have loved to have rode it. It's one of the best ones I've ever had. You know, 2 drum brakes in the front, speedo drive right here. It's got this hydro hydraulic, I think it's called, front end. These kind of shocks here. If you look at the brake, so these 2 drums, right? Watch this little eyebrow here, a little mustache here. This one kind of works like normal on this side, pulls up on it. And this one does the same thing over here. A little wishbone kind of a looking thing here. This whole thing moves up and down when you ride the bike. This gauge goes up and down, so there's a headlight. These choke for front and rear carburetor, horn, high-lows most likely, probably a kill switch right there. Clutch right up here, and then down here is a compression release for kicking. It's a 1000cc engine. Shifter right there, 4-speed. So the engine, there's an oil tank underneath this gas tank. That's the backbone of the engine. And this whole front end mounts to the front of that oil tank. And then on the back end, these shocks mount to the back end of that oil tank. And then this whole assembly back here mounts to the back of this transmission engine. The transmission engine is one piece in this thing, unitized. Isn't that something? They wanted the short rod short, so they put the cams way up here. Take this off, you can see a great big puller up, great big gear on the end of the crankshaft. These are just gorgeous bikes. Spring inside of housing. Over here, spring inside of the housing with a shock in the middle. You can, it's got these bars on here, so you can take the, get this loose to get this kickstand down. You can pull this back wheel off without tools by twisting this. Same thing on the front. It's made so you didn't have to use tools to do any of that. Magneto's underneath here. Carburetor on this side over here. This one's got a concentric, and I think there's a carburetor over here. Yeah, right there. Pod filter on it. Everything's one piece. It's got a really bizarre clutch. I'd like to, someday we'll get inside one of these and I'll show you what that's like. Let's walk over here real quick. Running into this room, we've got this BSA, which has been here for quite a while. I'm not sure if they're waiting, they must be waiting on parts. We did a bunch of work on this bike. This is an aerial single. It looks like a twin because it has 2 exhaust pipes, but it's really a single. But they've got the transmission tore apart now. Not sure what's going on with this one. Very beautiful machine. Absolutely gorgeous thing. There it is. The rest of the transmission. They had this one tore apart for a while. This is a Royal Enfield Interceptor. They got her back together again, but they're still working on it. Like any good British bike, it's got an oil spot underneath it. That's the brand new Royal Enfield Bear right there. These are beautiful things. Jumping over here, look at this absolutely gorgeous Triumph. 650, I'm guessing. Mechanical drive for the tachometer. Dual carburetors, you know. So this is one of the interesting things about Baxter Cycle, and you know, I never get to talk about this or show, but see this paper? They've got a massive library full of all kinds of information on so many different, I mean, it's just massive. Like, cover that whole wall. All kinds of books and manuals and things like that for all these old British bikes. And that's something, you know, reference material that you just can't get that off the internet. I don't think you can get it to the detail they have it anyway. So this one I've been watching them build. It started in little pieces and now it's coming together into a bigger piece. But look at that. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's like a 250 or something. If y'all know what it is, please post below. I'm guessing it has these on there to hold the knee pads on. Check out this dual leading shoe front brake. Again, just a gorgeous machine, isn't it? Just a gorgeous, nice high pipe, single high pipe. You know, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That Triumph right there. If y'all are interested in a newer used classic motorcycle like this, British classic bike, need a new Royal Enfield like this one or a Triumph or anything like that, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty mini Metropolis of Marnie, Iowa. Talk to Randy or Mark or Jeremy, or go to BaxterCycle.com. They've got parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads. Baxter Cycle is the largest vintage British part supplier, motorcycle part supplier in North America. They got buildings full of parts. I mean, buildings full of parts. If they don't have it, you're going to have trouble finding it. Anyway, life is good, my friends. Have a great holiday. Wahoo!
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wahoo!